Uwe Gemballa was the go-to guy for the world's sheikhs, dictators, and drug lords. His modified cars were outrageously luxurious, often absurd, and completely irresistible to the rich and powerful. His business started to falter. Gemballa made a deal with the wrong man, the worst man, in fact, a man named Radovan. The result? Uwe was found months later, buried, hands tied, with a bullet to the back of the head. This is the tragic, twisted story of one of Germany's most legendary tuners. It all began in 1979 when Gemballa started customizing the interiors of high-end German cars. He was installing advanced sound systems, colored lighting, even TVs and VCRs in the late 70s. It was futuristic madness, and his customers loved it. Not ordinary folks, of course, but oil-rich sheikhs, Eastern European bosses, and stars like Michael Jackson and Vanilla Ice. Gemballa knew exactly what they wanted and how to deliver it. No one really knew what he did before '79. His life was a mystery. Some suspected shady deals, and they were probably right. But on the surface, he was building automotive dreams. Take his first big project, a wide-body Mercedes 500 SEC. Not made from cheap fiberglass, but hand-shaped steel and aluminum. And then came the car that made him famous. The Gemballa Avalanche, a reimagined Porsche 911 with a wide-body kit, slant-nosed, massive wing, and a cockpit full of gadgets. The price? Nearly 400,000 Deutsche Marks without the base car. These weren't just cars. They were rolling discos, mini movie theaters, and sometimes literal safes on wheels. One had a minibar, another had a fax machine, and some had video systems that cost more than most people's houses. Even Saddam Hussein's son had one, a yellow BMW 6 tuned by Gemballa, found years later in Iraq. Gemballa wasn't just a tuner, he was a one-man luxury industry. But while his interiors were jaw-dropping, critics claimed his cars were more style than speed. That changed in 2001. Uwe took a Porsche 911 GT3, added twin turbos, and attacked the Nurburgring. After over 100 laps of testing, the GTR 600 set a record. 7 minutes, 44.7 seconds, the fastest civilian car at the time. A rival company beat it by a second. So Uwe went back to the garage, reworked everything, and returned. This time, a full 11 seconds faster. He'd made his point. Gemballa wasn't just about gold trims and champagne coolers, it was about dominance. The business exploded again. Even the Cayenne SUV got the Gemballa treatment, with wild interiors, 750 horsepower, and months-long wait lists. And then came the Carrera GT, Porsche's holy grail. Uwe customized 25 of them. One of them ended up in New York, crashed into several parked cars by a millionaire high on drugs, but charges were dropped. In 2008, the global financial crisis crushed luxury businesses. Gemballa's empire began to crack. But then, a lifeline, a mysterious investor named Jerome Saphir, contacted him. Uwe flew to South Africa to meet him and vanished. Days later, he called his wife, oddly in English, not German, and asked her to wire $1 million to a strange account. She sensed something was terribly wrong. She called the police. That was the last time anyone heard Uwe's voice. 8 months later, his body was found, wrapped in plastic, hands tied, bullet to the back of the head. 4 men were arrested. One confessed, saying they'd been hired by a Czech gangster, Radovan Krejcir. Radovan was known for human trafficking, drugs, arms smuggling, and corruption. The confession was later withdrawn, allegedly under police abuse, but the cell towers placed all 4 men at the scene of the murder. Another man, Jerome Saphir, turned out to be a fraud named Jerome Safi. He admitted luring Uwe to South Africa under threat, claiming he had to deliver a hidden €1 million in a Porsche, money that never showed. Was Uwe laundering money for criminals using overpriced cars as the cover? We'll never know. Radovan, the prime suspect, denied everything and walked free. For a while. In 2013, an attempted assassination on Radovan failed thanks to his armored Mercedes. He bragged, My life is a James Bond movie. But eventually, the law caught up. He's now in a South African prison, serving 35 years for other crimes. His wife and mother spent $18 million trying to help him escape, but the plan failed. And what about the Gemballa brand? It was quickly sold off to investors and Uwe's former associates. They kept using his name, even while he was missing, even after he was dead. But the legacy didn't end there. Uwe had a son, Mark Philip Gemballa, just 16 when his father was murdered. Years later, Mark followed in his father's footsteps. He worked for Aston Martin, Mercedes, and Porsche, and eventually launched his own company, MP Gemballa Cars. He tried to carry the family torch, building 911 base supercars inspired by the legendary Porsche 959. But he was sued by the company that took over his father's name. They claimed he was using the brand illegally. So he changed the name to Mark Philip Gemballa Cars, and today he's doing exactly what his father did. But better, cleaner, sharper, and maybe even smarter. This story wasn't just about horsepower. It was about ambition and pride, and how sometimes greatness attracts shadows.